We have about eight. Yes. Uh, Thank you. Thank you. We have about 83 participants now, and we're touching 100. We'll be waiting for more, inshallah. And let's begin with it. So once again, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. I welcome you all in this Sunday morning for the webinar of cloud computing from IICCB. IICCB, if I think everybody is familiar with IICCB, and who is not familiar with IICCB, I would like to introduce IICCB. IICCB, Indian Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Bureau, which is an NGO, which is a non-profitable organization, which we have a mission. It's all started 2 years back in July 2020 with the vision and mission to support the business community and uplift and have a structure and system in place for the business people here. We have conducted n number of events by now. Almost 30 events we have conducted from past 2 years. This is our success story. And also, we have more than 5,000 members with us today. Our mission to accomplish and support the business community is always there. We have our wonderful team with us who are working day and night to support you guys and present all these things. How do we do it? We do it by bringing in a lot of events, webinars, knowledge sharing, and technical support, and entrepreneur development programs. It helps our business community as well as professionals to enhance their success in life and also to achieve their dreams.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي ربي زدني علما يا فتاح يا فتاح يا فتاح.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. It all started amidst the pandemic. The COVID-19 virus had taken the entire world under its clutches. The pandemic impact on economy was immense. People started losing jobs. Many businesses were forced to shut down. Lockdowns everywhere. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. During this difficult phase, business leaders, intellectuals, and professionals joined hands from different corners of the country to frame a platform for economic upliftment of our community. We got a business chamber registered in the holy month of Ramadan in the name of Indian Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Bureau under Indian Trust Act. IICCB is a non-profit organization, a NGO which is spreading its arms to all irrespective of caste, creed or religion. Soon after the incorporation, we started enrolling members and organizing the managing committee. We officially launched our chamber
on August 1st, 2020, virtually.
Due to the lockdown, we conducted webinars virtually for the benefit of the community, such as skill personality development workshop, business investor conclave, benefits of MSME, etc. Through these digital media webinars, we reached an audience of 20,000 to 30,000 worldwide. In just 6 months, we witnessed the first physical meet of our chamber on 31st January 2021 at JW Marriott, Bengaluru, the Economic Trends Post-Pandemic and Networking Summit. We were overwhelmed by the response from the community. The impact of the event was such immense that later we had several successful stories of this event.
Applause to Mr. Azim Khan for cracking this fantastic and phenomenal contract with this networking event.
Another mesmerizing event, Path to Growth Business Meet at Networking Conclave 2021 with a message to think big was conducted on 9th April 2021 at Taj MG Road, Bengaluru. An enlightening evening filled with workshops and opportunities to explore, expand and network. Soon after the event, we witnessed the second wave of COVID-19 and the entire nation was under the scarcity of oxygen cylinder supply. IICCB on humanitarian ground did run a free oxygen supply campaign under the project Save Life.
IICCB are doing a very good job.
IICCB के तरफ से मदद मिली.
IICCB and they could help me.
As per the Holy Quran, chapter 5, verse number 32, which states, saving one life is equal to saving the entire mankind. IICCB provided financial help to deserving candidates. IICCB provided oxygen cylinders to deserving and qualified COVID-19 patients in association with Project Smile, Zulfi Education and Welfare Trust, Benfa Charitable Trust, Almighty Foundation, San Marga Trust and Color Foundation. To conclude with this, it's an endeavor of IICCB to strive hard for upliftment of the community in coming days, as we did in the previous year. We would request our community members to join us and enroll with IICCB and start a successful story along with the upliftment of our community. Thank you for watching this video. Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you all to join in the Sunday morning. And I would like to talk about today's webinar. Before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Syed Ali. I'm a host today for you, and I'm a trainer. I'm a communication trainer and a moderator today. I happen to have been in training from past 16 years in the field of training, and I train people from professionals, corporates, and institutes. So I'm here, Syed Ali. Assalamu alaikum, and from my side. All right. So moving ahead, I would like to enlighten. Somebody has said a very nice quote. ये जो एक छोटा सा कोट है, मैं आपको पेश करना चाहता हूं. जितनी बटनी थी बट गई जमीन, जितनी बटनी थी बट चुकी जमीन, अब तो बस आसमान बाकी है. So in the sense, I say that when we have, you must be thinking that what is cloud? Cloud is something which is non-existent, but it is existing. So that is what it is. It's about the technical term given to IT servers and data centers. We have expertise. We have expertise with us who will be introducing to this technology today, and they will be taking you through the knowledge sharing session today at the webinar, inshallah. And okay, I have some people here coming in more. Thank you.
We have crossed 100 numbers already.
We have people from Kerala. We have students here. Okay, we have business people from Maharashtra, Telangana, Pune. Thank you all for joining the webinar. So now coming back to IICCB, we have. I would like to introduce our president, Mr. Nurul Amin, who is the president from 2 years with IICCB. He has given his tremendous time, effort, and energy to bring up this entire organization and to help the community. I request Mr. Nurul Amin to start with his keynote on cloud computing today. Mr. Nurul Amin, over to you. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think Sharif Bhai, our secretary, has to start with the dua, right? Is he done it?
Yeah, no, I'm just going to begin now.
Yeah,
Let's start with the dua.
I will introduce myself.
Yeah.
Okay?
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وسلم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. ربي زدني علما يا فتاح يا فتاح. اللهم صل على محمد. So let's begin. To you, President.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I once again welcome all of you on this special day, Sunday. We have in fact, it's one of the best day for Muslims and Islamic calendar. This is a time for, in many of the countries across the world, they also celebrate Miladun Nabi, Eid Milad today. So best wishes to all of you. I would be glad and happy to give you some brief about what exactly IICCB has done till now. Alhamdulillah. I'm very happy to see that we have more than of course more than around 400 plus people have registered, and now I think at least 50-60% people will participate today inshallah in this event. With regards to IICCB has completed its 2 years last July, and we have successfully organized 30 plus events, and we could able to reach out to more than 10,000 different audience across the world. In fact, this is one such chamber which started in COVID crisis, and alhamdulillah, there are a lot of people are getting benefited, small timers to large players to enterprise to individuals, and especially the women entrepreneurs also take a lot of advantage of our platforms. We have kept very free and open platforms, so people are even exchanging their opportunities, engaging themselves in our WhatsApp groups. We have got plenty of testimonies till now that it is benefited to our community. It's a business chamber, non-profit organization. The only purpose is to uplift our community and business community especially, and see to it they perform well and they stand apart to the world economics. Today, I'm privileged to be a part of this event. Alhamdulillah, this is there's a lot of great effort gone behind in making this entire content to make it some kind of differentiator between rest of the program which you have witnessed in the past about cloud. I would like to know today that how many of you know what is cloud? Can you please translate and write it in Hindi or in Urdu in your chat box? What is cloud? I would be happy to listen. Translate the meaning of cloud in Urdu or English. If you have a chat box, you are allowed to type. Kindly type it. What is cloud? Badal. Okay. I think online storage. Imaginary memory. Okay. I would like to request once again, kindly translate the word in Urdu or in Urdu or in Hindi. What does it mean? Badal, of course. Get. So almost people are trying to explain more on this, that what exactly it is. We are learning. So I am also a student today for this subject, virtual storage, please. Anyways, let me explain from my end what exactly I have understood about this. Of course, it's a badal. Badal, normally when we talk about cloud badal is a collection of moistures, right? आप अगर देखा जाए तो एक बहुत बड़ा मतलब एक बहुत बड़ा चट्टान के जैसा बादल जमा होकर आसमान पे लहराते रहता है ना? इतना बड़ा चट्टान जो उसका वजन जो है पता नहीं कितने टन का है, लेकिन कोई सपोर्ट नहीं होता है उसको. Allah Ta'ala or God has created, Almighty has created such a kind of arrangement that it is holding in between the sky and the earth, and it is still hanging with that million, trillion, billion, I don't know how many mega tons it has got, and still it hangs from one place to another place. And what the fantastic thing is, it will always fall down at one point, and we can feel it. पानी की तरह बरस जाता है हमारे हाथ में, तो हमको लगता है कि बरसात हो रही, और कभी कभी गरज भी जाता है. तो गरजता है तो बहुत लोगों को उससे नुकसान भी होता है. जब बरसता है तो उसकी रहमत होती है. तो क्लाउड भी एक ऐसा है कि आप लोग देख सकते हो एक डेटा की तरह उसको, वरना आप उसको महसूस नहीं कर सकते हो हाथ से. तो मुझे ये एहसास हुआ कि दुनिया में एक और मतलब एक और लेयर of the world is getting created by name cloud. In fact, it is being told it is one of the biggest innovation ever happened in the technology world. It is one of the biggest and the unique innovation ever happened in the technology. आप सोच भी नहीं सकते, आपकी दिल की धड़कन भी कहीं और धड़क रहा है. आपकी जो दिल की धड़कन है कहीं और धड़क रहा है. आपके सारे मतलब A to Z आपके जितने भी एक्शंस हैं वो भी वहां पे रिकॉर्ड हो रहे हैं. कोई तुमको आप लोगों को मॉनिटर कर रहा है, आपके मूवमेंट्स को मॉनिटर कर रहा है. आप कहाँ पे हैं, कितने बजे कहाँ जा रहे हैं, क्या खाते हैं, वहां तक भी पहुंच जाते हैं। मतलब ये जो क्लाउड है एक ऐसा फैसिलिटी बनाया गया है दुनिया में कि एक दूसरा वर्ल्ड है जो हमारे ऊपर नजर रखा है, हमारे मूवमेंट्स के ऊपर नजर रखा है, हमारे हर भाग दौड़ के ऊपर नजर रखा है। सिर्फ आपके जिस्म और आपका जान के अलावा सारा सारा डेटा वहां पे खेल रहा है, कूद रहा है, आगे पीछे हो रहा है। दुनिया में कई जगह इसका इस्तेमाल हो रहा है। अभी जो हमारा कोविड क्राइसिस हुआ, जहाँ पे भी इंट्रोड्यूस्ड आर कोविड कोविड वैक्सीन, जिसका डेटाबेस 220, कहते हैं कि 220 करोड़ वैक्सीन लगाया गया है। इसका मतलब ये है कि 200, okay, some people have written that they don't understand English, sorry, Hindi. So I'm trying to explain you guys that there is another virtual world in parallel is getting created. This is the most innovative technology. In fact, I can say that it is the biggest revolution happened in the technology world. Your entire status is being captured. Start from your heartbeat to your movement, to your transportation, the logistic, the kind of food you eat, the kind of dress you wear, the kind of entertainment you enjoy, the kind of hobby you carry, the kind of lifestyle you maintain. Everything is being controlled in the parallel world. So I'm trying to convey that this is the biggest innovation ever happened in the technology. Today, we are here to address this and explain how it is going to benefit the mankind, and also it has got its own impact and risk. So while we say that it is going to become a huge advantage for the mankind, at the same time it has got its implications as well. So our team is all set. They have learned a lot about and they have understood the entire subject. And today we'll try to cover something very extraordinary in terms of not only showing how the cloud is working alongside with you, but it also says that how you can take the benefit out of this cloud. So every individual who is associated today with any kind of profession, he or she is always should understand that they are going to either they are connected right now or they are going to get connected very soon. So they cannot get rid of this cloud. So please take this entire session seriously. Try to raise your concerns and questions. We are here to address. Inshallah, we'll try to convey all those learnings which we have got in last few days. But at the same time, we would be happy to learn from your end also. There are a lot of champions and experts who understand this technology better than us. They can also educate us while giving their response or during the Q&A time. Thank you so much. Once again, I welcome all of you and I wish my team all the best. I would also thank our secretary, our cloud webinar group, Mr. Mushir, Secretary Saab, Sharif Bhai. We have our friend Dr. Rafiullah. We have our Ali, who will be the today's moderator, and we have Hussein, who is also a technical expert for cloud. He is also be with us. So you can raise any number of questions. Inshallah, we'll try to satisfy you. Thank you so much. Welcome all of you once again. All the best.
Thank you, Amin Bhai. Thank you for enlightening us and introducing or familiarizing with the cloud computing technology today. We all are connected directly or indirectly to this technology of cloud computing. And in today's webinar, we'll be taking you through the cloud technologies, different services, advantages, disadvantages, securities, and also the opportunities and career options here. Okay. For those who have joined late, again, I welcome you all. My name is Syed Ali. Assalamu alaikum. And I welcome you to this webinar of cloud computing from IICCB, Indian Islamic Chamber of Commerce and Bureau. Here today we have a program coordinator with us, who is a wonderful personality and also a very intellectual personality in IT field. His name is Mr. Mohammad Hussain. Mohammad Hussain has a tremendous and vast experience of IT from past 20 years of experience to him, and he's a postgraduate double degree in IT, information technology. He works for various different corporates, MNCs, and he has delivered various technology support to different companies as well as institutes and organizations and helped n number of people here in terms of cyber security and also in the infrastructure. So I welcome Mr. Hussain to address us on this IT, on the data technology and also on the cloud computing. Mr. Hussain, I welcome you.
Alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuhu. Nahmaduhu wa nusallihi ala rasulihi kareem amma ba'd. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Namaste and good morning to all of you. Thank you, my dear friend Ali, for the kind introduction. मेरे अजीज दोस्तों, भाइयों, बुजुर्गों, बहनों, my dear friends, brothers, sisters, and elders, gentlemen, it's my privilege to be part of this August gathering on a joyful Sunday. I welcome you all. Firstly, I would like to thank the organizers, the IICCB, and the entire team. Without naming anybody, it's all and everybody. I thank them for giving me this opportunity to present myself with few facts and figures about the industry, particularly the cloud computing industry and the data center domain. See, digital transformation has been a buzzword over the last few years, with small and medium industries, large industries, business houses moving their operations to the cloud and adopting online productivity and collaboration services. So there's a paradigm shift today in the usage of technology and adoption of technology. Earlier days, we all know we were dependent on the hard copies for the storage of data, information, and records. Then came the era of computerization and digitization. People started using computers to a larger extent for all purposes. So is today as well. You know, from punch cards to magnetic tapes to semiconductor memory, the hard disk and the floppy, large hard disk and the floppy drives, then the optical drives, and today we see flash drives and SSDs and so on. So these are all the media we are dependent for storing data locally at systems at the server level and at the corporate in so-called server farms. The lockdown and the remote working that was necessitated by the pandemic were an expected reality check for the organizations for all sizes. The restrictions that were imposed by the pandemic turned the world upside down, with various industries going bust and many large and small businesses experiencing survival challenges. Cloud computing came as a rescue and boon to many of us. Today, everyone is aware of the cloud. My colleague, our president, also gave some insights. But why is it become so important, not only to technology, but to the way we live today? The cloud has enabled a variety of other technologies to develop, become economical, spread to the benefit of people everywhere. Cloud environments makes a lot of sense for businesses of all types, which are highly available, scalable, they are easier to implement, and with business continuity and disaster recovery. My dear friends, some of the facts that I would like to bring to your notice that today and in the days to come, today 50% of the world's corporate data is stored on the cloud. You know, huge number of, you see, Fortune 500 companies, 50% of the corporate data is stored in the cloud. And the vendors, the cloud data centers account to around 3% of the world's energy consumption. This is the industry. Cloud infrastructure services, they generate around 200 billion revenue per year, 200 billion US dollars. And large, around 90% of the large enterprises have also adopted to multi-cloud infrastructure. So my colleague Syed will introduce you about multi-cloud infrastructure. 82% of the workload today reside on the cloud. That means whatever we do, whatever the engineers or the professionals at the corporate level, they do, their data is stored. Around 80% of the data is stored on the cloud. And you know, by prediction, around 100 zettabytes of data will be stored in the cloud by 2025. These are some of the statistics that we have. And one among the various vendors, cloud service providers, like Amazon Web Services, has the largest cloud computing market share with around 32%, and the remaining is shared by the others. The three sectors that plan to spend the most on cloud computing services are the manufacturing, the professional services, and the banking services. So these are the people who actually do the business. So, a larger percentage is shared by these three industries. And even 36% of commercial real estate executives plan on investing in cloud computing. So these are some of the facts that I wanted to highlight. And majorly, between this year 2022 and the next 10 years 2032, cloud computing industry will be worth around 2,000 billion USD, such a large industry by itself. So there are a lot of host of benefits of cloud computing and its applications across all walks of life and mankind. My colleague, Mr. Syed, will take you throughout the webinar on introduction to cloud, the concept of cloud, its inception, advantages, types, etc. Later, another colleague of mine will also brief you on the commercial aspects and business opportunities on cloud computing. I thank you all for the patience in hearing me, and I would like to introduce my colleague, Syed Hidayat, who would present today in details about cloud computing technology. Thank you. Great day ahead. Jazakallah.
Thank you, Hussein Bhai. Thank you for such wonderful insights about cloud computing and the technology, what we are looking forward for. Now, the people who have joined late, I request you all to please write in your profession and also the city which you belong to. It is easier for us to understand what kind of audience we are catering to today. And also, please keep your question and answers with you. If you have anything you can write it in the chat box, as well as we have a question and answer session after the session. About 20 minutes is allotted at the end of the session for question and answers. And you have any queries in between, you can always write in the chat box. Our panel will address to it. Thank you. And moving ahead, I would like to introduce our personality, the IT personality who is introducing you or making you familiar with cloud computing. His name is Syed Hidayat. He hails to be from Bangalore, and he has over 16 years of experience in the domain of networking, data, and cloud computing. Syed Hidayat has worked for various corporates, MNCs. His experience stands with HP, Wipro, and of course, Amazon and all. And he works on the cloud technology from long time, and he heads a company by name India Info Solutions. He's a director here, and he'll be presenting today the technology to you, which could be helpful for tomorrow. It's a technology which we have the future today. So please welcome Syed Hidayat, who will be presenting us with cloud computing. Thank you. Hidayat bhai, over to you.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Namaste and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. So it is my privilege to be here this Sunday morning. And first of all, I thank Syed Ali Bhai for giving us such a kind introduction. And after that, Mr. Hussein Bhai for giving such a wonderful insight about cloud computing and where the future stands. And also, I would like to thank President Saab, Noor Amin Saab, Secretary Saab, Amir Sharif Saab, and Vice President Rafiullah Saab, all the dignitaries here, management from IICCB, who has given me a chance to come here and deliver some insights of cloud computing and make audience aware of what is happening here at cloud computing. So let's start now without any further wasting our time. So I'm going to share my presentations.
I request our participants to keep the videos on.
I hope everyone else can see my screen. If you can see, if you can give me a thumbs up or something indicated that you're able to see my screen. Okay, thank you. Now, before we begin, let me know how many of you knows what is cloud computing. So please put it in the chat box, whatever you know about cloud computing. I'll give you 30 seconds of time. So please put your own definition, what you know about cloud computing. Data storage, storing data, virtual network, data located somewhere else and accessed remotely. Good. Virtual network, virtual storage unit. You can store data virtually. Okay, thanks for all your answers. Now, some of them are closed. Okay. Cloud computing is a virtual storage somewhere, provides services such as infrastructure. Very good. Amin Kabir Saab. Virtual data handling, you're close. Okay. Now let's understand what is cloud computing in detail. That is where the session is for today's session. So let's understand. Now this is what our agenda is for today's webinar. So what is cloud and cloud computing? Now cloud is something that that is remotely data center is set up. Okay, somewhere remotely all the infrastructure is set up, even though you cannot see what is there, but virtually it is all set up. And what is cloud computing? Cloud computing is something that we have a laptop, mobile phone, desktop, or a tab in our hand. All these devices are the endpoint, we call it as end users. Now, today we log into facebook.com. Now, do you know where Facebook data center is there? We don't know, but still we work. But still the data comes, you're able to log in and do. So that is called cloud computing. Now, why cloud computing? Now, it is not necessary that each and every time we need to have a physical data servers or storage right in front of our eyes. It can be stored right remotely. And this is where the market is catching up. Okay, now architecture of cloud computing. So we will understand each and every topic in detail in our coming slides. This is just to give you a glance what is today's agenda is. So advantage and disadvantage of cloud. There's a plus and minus of each and every technology and different types of clouds. So how many clouds are there? Like public, private, hybrid, cloud services like infrastructure, platform, then software, then deployment services, how you deploy actually. Deploy is nothing but implementing. Now here is something very interesting, which is non-IT. This is where IICCB makes a difference. That what is the opportunities there who is from non-IT, somebody who owns the land, somebody who owns the property, but how to make revenue generate from it. Now after that we'll understand what is the conclusion, whether we should use cloud or we should not use cloud, or how. Now, after that, we'll be talking a lot on career prospect and job opportunities. Many of us are here to understand what is there for each one of you. So somebody will be there who wants to enter into cloud computing, and somebody who's already done what are the job opportunities and how our transition of the knowledge can help you, each and everyone here, to get into cloud computing. Now, what is cloud? Let's deep dive into this and understand this is in a very, very clear picture. So many of you have written that cloud computing is a remote storage, it's a virtual network, or it is a complete infrastructure. Okay, I like that answer, the person who has written a complete infrastructure. Okay, now let's understand each and every phase of it, because this is a topic where we'll spend some time on it, so that each one of you today will understand what is cloud. See, today every one of us has logged into some device, whether it is mobile, whether it is a tab, whether it is a laptop, or whether it's a desktop. You all have somehow have logged in today to this webinar. Now we are using a tool called Zoom. Okay. Now can we see Zoom? No, we cannot see Zoom. Where the Zoom is located, where it is, and how it is and all. But we know that somewhere Zoom is implemented, and we are able to use those links to log into this webinar, and the connectivity has happened seamlessly, and we are all here listening to each other or talking to each other, understanding each other. So this Zoom is hosted somewhere in cloud. Now when we say cloud, it's a remote complete setup of data center. Now somewhere the hardware is set up, somewhere the server is set up, somewhere the network is set up, somewhere the firewall is set up, somewhere the software is set up, somewhere remotely. We don't know where it is unless and until you know your cloud service provider and they disclose the physical location of it. But we cannot see that whatsoever. We'll come to know only the physical location. For example, clouds like Amazon, clouds like Azure, cloud like GCB. GCB stands for Google Cloud Provider. Okay, so all these are the major players in the market. There are globally present in cloud computers. Okay, they have set up somewhere their data centers. Now today, if we have to log in, there's just one interface to log in. Now, how the programming happens, it is just an interface that you'll be seeing it. Suppose if you want to host anything today, if you are tech savvy, or you want to build any app and you want to host it, so you can host it in the cloud and the whole world can access it, depending upon your configuration, how you configure it, and how you want the other users to access it. So now for that, if you want to set up that, now if you say, imagine we are not on cloud, we need to set up our servers, then what we need? First of all, we need office, then we need complete infrastructure, we need to set up the office, we need furniture, we need lighting, we need administrative, we need so much expenses in there. Today, we have learned during the COVID situation that we can work from home. So same way, we can start our own businesses right from home and using the cloud servicing. Now, if you want any service, you can go use any one of these service provider, and you can take the server what you want, you can take storage what you want, you can take virtual network what you want, and you can put your application there, and you can use the tools which is available. So this is how the cloud has become so much famous. So where you don't need any capital expenditure to have thousands and lakhs or crores of rupees to set up everything and then start using it. You can use it as per your services and as per your usage, you can pay for it. Now, if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. So I'll quickly answer it. And let's learn where is the cloud. Now, as I said in before, like we cannot see the physical setup of any cloud. So we cannot see the big players, they are like Amazon or Azure or GCP, where their physical servers are located. Now, but somewhere it is located. It is invisible, but just remotely we can access them. So cloud is nowhere that we can see the cloud setup. So now the second is, are we working in the cloud now? Yes, by somehow we are working on the cloud. For example, let's talk about the social media. Now today we log into facebook.com, today we log into twitter.com, today we log into linkedin.com, and WhatsApp, I can name and keep naming it. Now where this all are located? and we are using it from our mobile phones or from our other devices like laptop, desktop, but we are using it, which means yes, we are working on the cloud. Cloud has become part of our life, so
sorry to
we
intervene.
cannot ignore.
You also can little bit you can use Urdu as well in between. There are people who may not be fully understand English, so you can use little bit Urdu in between.
Okay, thank you.
It
जहाँ मैंने जो आपको एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया था कि क्लाउड के बारे में, क्लाउड वो होता है जो हमको दिखाई नहीं देता, लेकिन कहीं पे वो रिमोटली यानी हमारे से बहुत बहुत दूर वो है, लेकिन है फिजिकली वो प्रेजेंट है, उसका हम एक्सेस कर सकते हैं, उसके फायदे उठा सकते हैं। जैसे हम फेसबुक पे हम लॉगिन करते हैं, facebook.com, twitter.com, ये सब कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये सब होस्टेड है क्लाउड पे। हम उसके फीचर्स यूज करते हैं हमारी रोजाना जिंदगी में। तो the answer for are we working on the cloud? Yes, we are working on the cloud. Now these are all the questions you probably heard or even ask yourself. हमने कभी अपने आप से भी पूछा होगा ये सब क्वेश्चन, ये कहाँ से ये सब आ रहा है, ये कहाँ से आ रहा है। फॉर एग्जाम्पल फेसबुक हम कहाँ से हैं, हम फेसबुक यूज करते हैं, फेसबुक के बारे में अपने दोस्तों से, अपने रिश्तेदारों से, अपने नेबर से वी कीप आस्किंग सेल्फ हु इज, वेयर इट इज। इतने सारे लोग, इतने मिलियंस ऑफ लोग लॉग इन करते हैं फेसबुक पे और सबको एक ही एड्रेस यूआरएल facebook.com। ये कहाँ से आता है, ये एक बार भी डाउन क्यों नहीं होता? अगर डाउन होता है तो ट्विटर पे आ जाता है, एक बड़ी न्यूज बन जाती है, ट्विटर डाउन हो गया, फेसबुक डाउन हो गया करके। तो हाउ दीज थिंग्स आर मैनेज? So today we are here to understand all this concept. Now definition, we have deep dived it, but just to make it understanding in the simple terms or simple understanding in simple English, it is, in the simplest term, cloud computing means storing and accessing data and programs over the internet instead of our computer's hard drive. ये ऐसा है क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग। ये सब कुछ हमारे फिजिकल लैपटॉप या डेस्कटॉप में रखने की जरूरत नहीं है। अभी हम इस एरा में, इस दौर में आ चुके हैं कि वी कैन एक्सेस आवर ऑल डिटेल्स फ्रॉम द क्लाउड, फ्रॉम द रिमोट प्लेसेस। तो यहाँ पे हमारा खुद का बनाना सब कुछ बहुत एक्सपेंसिव होता है, इसीलिए क्लाउड आया, इसीलिए सब उसका उपयोग कर रहे हैं, सब उसका इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं क्लाउड का। Now, in technology world, cloud computing is a phrase used to describe a variety of computing concepts that involve a large amount of computers. और फॉर एग्जाम्पल अब हम समझिए एक सर्वर हमको चाहिए, हमारे जैसे आसपास कितने लोग हैं, मिलियंस। हमारा सिर्फ इंडिया का पॉपुलेशन अबाउट 130 करोड़ है, पूरा दुनिया का पॉपुलेशन ले लो तो ट्रिलियंस में चला जाता है। ट्रिलियंस उसको बोलते हैं, 1 फॉलोड बाय 10 zeros इज कॉल्ड ट्रिलियन। तो ट्रिलियंस ऑफ पॉपुलेशन है। तो ये सब लोग अपना डेटा कहाँ रखते हैं, या कंपनीज जो इतने बड़े बड़े कंपनीज हैं, HP फॉर एग्जांपल, फॉर्च्यून 500 कंपनीज, हम इंडिया के बारे में बात करते हैं, जो इंडिया के फॉर्च्यून 500 कंपनीज हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल विप्रो है, HCL है, TCS है और इन्फोसिस है। ये टॉप प्लेयर्स हैं इंडिया में। अगर ये हर एक के पास, एक कंपनी में इनके पास लाखों के एम्प्लॉयज हैं, किसी के पास 1 लाख हैं, किसी के पास 2 लाख हैं, और ये वर्ल्ड वाइड स्प्रेड होके हैं। तो इनका सारा जो काम होता है कैसे होता है, ये हर जगह अपना सारा कुछ सेटअप लेके नहीं जा सकते, विच इज नेक्स्ट टू इम्पॉसिबल। तो ये क्या करते हैं, बड़े बड़े कंपनी के लोग ये सारे क्लाउड पे डाल देते हैं, सिर्फ अपना लैपटॉप लेके चलते हैं, सिर्फ इंटरनेट कनेक्शन चाहिए और एक्सेस तो इनके पास रहता है, यूजर आईडी एंड पासवर्ड। तो लैपटॉप हो गया, डेस्कटॉप हो गया, वो ले चले जाते, लॉग इन करते और अपना काम शुरू कर देते। दैट इज वेयर क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग हैज बिकम सच ए ट्रेंडिंग टेक्नोलॉजी इन टुडेज वर्ल्ड।
I would like to add something here, just to give that, to easy to understand few guys. Sorry to interrupt my dad, right? If you permit, I will add one example. Can I add one example?
Yeah, please.
With your
please.
permission.
Please.
Yeah. See, what happens in normally today, the people who are looking for setting up their companies, for example, अगर हमको एक कंपनी बनाना है तो आज के दौर पर हम लोग जाते हैं, एक दुकान देखते हैं, एक ऑफिस का एड्रेस ढूंढते हैं, फिर ऑफिस में जो है फर्नीचर बनाते हैं, इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग करते हैं, फिर उसके बाद उसका किराया देना पड़ता है हर महीना, फिर उसका मेंटेनेंस है, उसमें बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं, उसके बाद जो है बिजनेस चालू होता है। आज का दौर ऐसा है, आप घर बैठ के आधे घंटे में आपका बिजनेस चालू कर सकते हैं। आपके पास एक और दुनिया है, वो दुनिया में आपको ना तो फर्नीचर की जरूरत है, ना तो ऑफिस की जरूरत है, ना तो आपको लैंड की जरूरत है, ना आपको लैंड लॉर्ड की जरूरत है, ना आपको उसके साथ में नेगोशिएट करके आपको हर महीने का रेंट को और मेंटेनेंस को प्लान करना है, ना आपको साइन बोर्ड लगाना है, कुछ नहीं। एक और दुनिया है, वहां पे आप फौरन आधे घंटे में अपना कंपनी बना सकते हो क्विकली, और वो कंपनी से आप बेचना, खरीदना, लेन देन सब कुछ कर सकते हो, और किसी का इंतजार करने की जरूरत नहीं। आप खुद बैठे बैठे घर बैठे आपका एक बिजनेस ओपन हो जाएगा आधे घंटे में, और ज्यादा से ज्यादा अगर रेगुलेटरी फॉर्मेलिटीज पूरा करना है तो एक दिन में खत्म हो जाए। टू ब्रीफ यू इन इंग्लिश, today's world, if you normally see practically, if you have to get into your office or you want to start your business, you have to find your office place, you have to set up your interior infrastructure, you have to hire people, you have to put up the brand marketing, whatever you do as a signboard. Then you have to also have an understanding with the landlord, you have to negotiate for the rent, you have to prepare for your maintenance, you have to take care of your water bill, electricity bill, you have to take care of your cleaning charges. Then also you have to maintain your entire office, and then you have to put your stocks, then you have to sell, then you have to market, then you have to have a lot of resources to even reach out. It takes its own time. 6 महीना 1 साल लग जाता है कभी कभी बिजनेस को स्टार्ट करने में। तो यहाँ पे क्या है, क्लाउड आने के बाद आपके पास एक और दुनिया की ताकत है, एक ऐसी ताकत है, द पावर विच यू हैव नाउ ऑन योर फिंगर टिप्स, यू कैन स्टार्ट योर बिजनेस विद इन एन आवर्स टाइम, and that can be launched quickly on a day time without any infrastructure issue, any kind of office space, any kind of coordination with the landlord for negotiation for the rent, any kind of spending time and hours in identifying the property. All this is not required. Straight away you can start the company. This is the advantage of cloud. मतलब एक और दुनिया आपके सामने खड़ी है जिसका आप भरपूर इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं आपके फायदे के लिए, और उसके लिए वक्त जाया नहीं होता है, फौरन इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं और दुनिया के कोई भी कोने में आप पूछ सकते हो within few minutes. Over to you, Hidayat bhai.
Thank you, sir. So kind of you. You gave example, a live example, very encouraging it for the people who are listening it. Now let's come back to why it is called cloud. Okay, the cloud is just a metaphor for the internet. Metaphor is the object. एग्जाम्पल हम दे सकते हैं, क्लाउड एक ऑब्जेक्ट उसको बोलते हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर हम क्लाउड पे काम कर रहे हैं तो क्लाउड के ऊपर डिपेंडेंसी होती है इंटरनेट की, अ लॉट ऑफ डिपेंडेंसी ऑन द इंटरनेट। सो यहाँ मेटाफर इज जस्ट उसको रेफर करते हैं इंटरनेट को। नाउ और सिंपली पुट, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग इज द डिलीवरी ऑफ कंप्यूटिंग सर्विसेज। फॉर एग्जाम्पल सर्वर्स हैं, डेटाबेस है, नेटवर्किंग है, स्टोरेज है, एनालिटिक्स है, इंटेलिजेंस है, एंड इस पूरा काम, द एंटायर वर्क इज हैपनिंग ऑन द क्लाउड, ऑन द इंटरनेट, ओवर द इंटरनेट। दैट इज द रीजन इट इज कॉल्ड क्लाउड। टू आस्क व्हाट इज द बिगेस्ट थिंग दैट अगर क्लाउड पे है तो क्या है? द फास्टर इनोवेशंस कैन हैपन, फ्लेक्सिबल रिसोर्सेज एंड इकोनॉमिक्स ऑफ स्केल। So we'll understand all these things in deep in the next our slide. Now, if you see one, I have put one image here. This is an image. A person sitting on the table. He's using his system and he's connecting it to a cloud. Now, what is that in between? It have in between it's the internet. It is a symbol of Wi-Fi, but it is connected to the so. This is what we are referring to all this time, that you can be any part of the world as long as you have any device and internet, you can connect to your cloud and you can work it. So this is the example that it gives understanding of what is cloud means. So let's move. Now let's understand architecture of cloud computing. I'm sure many of us today who are here wants to understand the architecture. अभी architecture किसको कहते हैं? What is architecture? I can give a best example which is coming to my mind here now is, अगर हम अपना घर बनाते हैं तो obviously हम architect के पास जाते हैं और उसको बोलते हैं कि हमको ground floor चाहिए, ग्राउंड फ्लोर, फर्स्ट फ्लोर चाहिए, सेकेंड फ्लोर चाहिए, या व्हाट सो ऑन। एंड वहां पे उनको बताते हैं कि हमको ग्राउंड फ्लोर में फुल पार्किंग चाहिए या फिर 50% पार्किंग चाहिए, और फर्स्ट फ्लोर में बेडरूम यहाँ पे रहेगा, फिर ड्राइंग रूम यहाँ पे रहेगा, फिर हॉल यहाँ पे रहेगा। ये सब ये सब क्या बोलते हैं इसको, वो बोलते हैं आर्किटेक्चर। तो बिल्डिंग का आर्किटेक्ट जब डिजाइनिंग करता है तो बताता है कि यहाँ पे आपके इतना स्क्वायर फीट रहेगा, इतनी जगह रहेगी, ये इतना बेडरूम रहेगा, इतना हॉल रहेगा, इतना लिविंग रूम रहेगा, फिर ग्राउंड फ्लोर पे इतनी जगह आपको मिलेगी, इतने कार्स पार्क कर सकते हैं, इतने टू व्हीलर्स पार्क कर सकते हैं, सो ऑन। इसको क्या बोलते हैं, हम इसको डिजाइनिंग कर रहे हैं कि ताकि वी कैन फुल्ली यूटिलाइज द प्लॉट और द लैंड विच इज अवेलेबल विद अस। सो सेम थिंग जब हम इसको रिलेट कर सकते हैं क्लाउड पे और क्लाउड आर्किटेक्चर पे, वी शुड अंडरस्टैंड हाउ इट इज placed and how we can make best use of available resources. Now let's understand. See, यहाँ पे एक क्लाउड का एक डायग्राम है, और क्लाउड के अंदर बहुत सारे रिसोर्सेज हैं, हार्डवेयर रिसोर्सेज हैं, सॉफ्टवेयर रिसोर्सेज हैं। फॉर एग्जाम्पल लेट्स स्टार्ट विथ लेफ्ट टू राइट। तो सर्वर्स हैं, सर्वर्स हमको पता है सर्वर्स करते क्या हैं। ये एक बड़ी मशीन होती है जहां पे इतना सारा कॉन्फ़िगरेशन, इतना सारा, इसकी इतनी कैपेसिटी होती है कि 100, 200, कभी कभी 1000, 2000 लोगों को भी ये कनेक्ट कर सकता है, और इट कैन सर्व इट। तो उसके जो अंदर के जो कंपोनेंट्स रहते हैं, फॉर एग्जांपल रैम, प्रोसेसर, ये सब बहुत स्ट्रांग रहते हैं ताकि हर एक को ये बराबर एंड यूजर को सर्विस दे सके। तो इसको हम बोलते हैं कंप्यूट पावर बोलते हैं। और यहाँ पे है वर्चुअल डेस्कटॉप्स। तो ये एक वर्चुअल डेस्कटॉप्स है, फिजिकल नहीं है। तो यहाँ से हम निकालते हैं इसको वर्चुअली, ताकि बाहर की दुनिया वाले जो एंड यूजर हमारे जैसे लोग हैं वो उसको इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं। फिर आ गया है सॉफ्टवेयर प्लेटफॉर्म। अगर आप सॉफ्टवेयर इंजीनियर हैं, यहाँ पे इतने सारे लोग हैं, मोर देन 200 पीपल हैव ऑलरेडी जॉइंड, तो ऑब्वियसली कोई सॉफ्टवेयर डेवलपर हो सकता है, कोई सॉफ्टवेयर प्रोग्राम प्रोजेक्ट मैनेजर भी हो सकता है। उन लोगों की सॉफ्टवेयर में एक सॉफ्टवेयर की एक खुद की एक एनवायरनमेंट रहती है जिसको हम डेवलपमेंट टीम बोलते हैं। तो उनको इतने सारे टूल्स की जरूरत होती है, फॉर देम इट रिक्वायर्स एनॉर्मस नंबर्स ऑफ टूल्स, प्लेटफॉर्म टू डेवलप वन सिंगल प्रोडक्ट। तो ये सारे all these facilities are available on the cloud। तो तुम अपने टूल्स को यूज कर सकते हो। फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं एग्जाम्पल दूं, पावर बीआई बहुत फेमस है, या फिर पाइथन बोलो, या फिर कुछ और विजुअल्स, ये सारे प्लेटफॉर्म्स यहाँ पे मिलते हैं जहाँ पे आप तुरंत लॉग इन करके यू कैन स्टार्ट वर्किंग इट। यहाँ पे हो गए एप्लीकेशंस। फॉर एप्लीकेशन एक फिनिश प्रोडक्ट रहता है। फॉर एग्जांपल आप SAP ले लो या फिर माइक्रोसॉफ्ट डायनामिक्स ले लो, ये सब फिनिश प्रोडक्ट्स हैं। या फिर बेसिक एग्जांपल एक और भी दे सकता हूँ, टैली तो हर एक को पता होता है कि टैली करता क्या है। टैली एक फिनिश प्रोडक्ट है, एक एप्लीकेशन है, तो वो रिसाइड करता है एक सॉफ्टवेयर प्लेटफॉर्म पे, एक प्लेटफॉर्म एज ए सर्विस पे। तो उसके बाद हो गया स्टोरेज क्या है? स्टोरेज एक ऐसा है जो जहां पे सारी चीजें को स्टोर करा जाता है। अगर हमारे घर पे भी हम आप देख ले तो हम एक स्टोरेज रूम करके बनाते हैं, स्टोरेज रूम जहां पे हम सारी चीजें को स्टोर करते हैं और जब चाहे उसको इस्तेमाल करते हैं। तो टेक्नोलॉजी में भी ये सारी चीजें जो है, ये जो वर्चुअल है, सॉफ्टवेयर प्लेटफॉर्म है, एप्लीकेशन है, उनको भी एक जगह चाहिए जहां पे ये सब वहां पे रिसाइड कर सके, वहां पे implement हो। So this is where everything will be stored. Any application for that matter, any software for that matter, everything is stored here. So software storage devices, if anybody would like to give example, they can write it down in the chat box. I'll give you 20 seconds of time. Storage device, what is storage device? So storage device, what does it mean to you? You can name it. We use in our daily life a small chip to the large number. So you can just write it down. What is storage devices का सिर्फ एक एग्जाम्पल दो, एक या दो एग्जाम्पल दो। ग्रेट आजम खान, खलंदर साहब, परवेज, मोहम्मद हफीज, मुजफ्फर हक, वेरी गुड। So I got the answer which I was expecting.
I would like to add one question here, sorry, just to give them that importance of this storage space. Can somebody explain what is the most highly demanded product today in the world? सबसे ज्यादा डिमांड में कौन सा प्रोडक्ट दुनिया में आज जिसका डिमांड सबसे ज्यादा है, वो क्या चीज है? Excellent, excellent. I got an answer from the group. There is a person who has written chip. I think it's Syed Abbas. And there is another guy who has written Shakib Yasir, chip. दुनिया के कोने कोने से आज सबसे बड़ा डिमांड जो है चिप का है. पता है चिप कितना बड़ा होता है? कोई लिख सकता है चिप का साइज कितना होगा जो चिप का डिमांड है? हाउ बिग इट इज? इट्स इन mm. अब सोचिए एक चिप जो है mm में है, उसके बिना एक कंप्यूटर नहीं बन सकता, कार नहीं बन सकता, एरोप्लेन नहीं बन सकता, आपके डिफेंस इक्विपमेंट नहीं बन सकते, दुनिया के बहुत सारे चीजें मैन्युफैक्चर नहीं हो सकते उसके बगैर. उसका डिमांड इतना है पूरी दुनिया में. और वो छोटा सा चिप जो आपके मोबाइल फोन में जो सिम है ना, सिम कार्ड से भी छोटा है, उसका जो रिक्वायरमेंट है दुनिया में सबसे ज्यादा आज की तारीख में डिमांड चल रहा है, उसका शॉर्टेज चल रहा है, क्योंकि जितना उसका सप्लाई है उससे ज्यादा उसकी जरूरत है. There is a huge demand for this product, and this demand is created because it has got the capacity to store billions of data inside that small storage. It has got many power, lot kind of this has got a specialized product which is meant to supply lot of variants, and it plays a very strong role in terms of creating a machine or any kind of product in the world. Thank you, Hidayat bhai. Over to you.
Thank you, sir. So let's. So this is under cloud. That is the reason the cloud diagram is drawn, and inside we have put all these resources. And let's now talk about outside the cloud. Outside the cloud, we have one side of that we have only desktop. The other side we have mobile, laptop, printer, and end user is we are the end users. So people who are from IT will understand very easily what is end users. और जो IT से नहीं है हम उनको समझाएंगे कि end user किसको बोलते हैं. End user उसको बोलते हैं हमारे और आपके जैसे लोगों को, हमारे और आपके जैसे हमारे पास एक मोबाइल फोन है, हम यूज करते हैं तो हम एंड यूजर हो गए. हमारे पास हम जो अभी यूज कर रहे हैं लैपटॉप, डेस्कटॉप या टैबलेट, हम एंड यूजर हो गए. तो हम हमारे जैसे लोगों को जो एंड यूजर हम यूज करते हैं उनको बोलते हैं एंड यूजर. यानी इसके बाद इसके नीचे कोई और नहीं है, इसीलिए बोलते हैं एंड, खत्म. हम यूज करने वाले हैं, हम इस्तेमाल करने वाले हैं. तो एंड यूजर को मेन टारगेट होता है फॉर एवरी कंपनी. चाहे तुम कुछ जितनी भी बड़ी कंपनी ले लो, मिड स्केल ले लो, स्टार्टअप ले लो, कुछ भी ले लो, उनका हमेशा टारगेट रहता है एंड यूजर. मैं एग्जांपल दे सकता हूँ आउट ऑफ आईटी. फॉर एग्जांपल इतने सारे फूड डिलीवरी एप्स हैं, स्विगी है, जोमेटो है. ओके, नाउ ये लोग करते क्या है, टारगेट हमेशा किसको करते हैं? ऑब्वियसली एंड यूजर को टारगेट करते हैं. अगर हमको अब खाना चाहिए तो ऑब्वियसली हम जोमेटो या स्विगी यूज करते हैं हमारे मोबाइल ऐप पे और हम ऑर्डर करते हैं. तो ये जो एंड यूजर हैं, हम यूजर हैं, हमको इमीडिएट फूड डिलीवरी करना, फूड डिलीवरी चाहिए तो हम ऐप यूज करते हैं, ऐप यूज करके ऑर्डर करते हैं, तो हम हो गए एंड यूजर. तो ये जो स्विगी है, जोमेटो है, ये सारे पूरे सॉफ्टवेयर कहाँ पे हैं? ये सारे पूरे सॉफ्टवेयर क्लाउड पे आ चुके हैं ताकि वो स्केल अप कर सके आसानी से, अपना सिक्योर बना सके आसानी से. तो ये हो गया. तो एंड यूजर इसको बोलते हैं जो हम इस्तेमाल करते हैं हमारे जैसे लोगों को. अब ये सारे एंड यूजर को फॉर एग्जांपल एक छोटी सी ऑफिस में कनेक्ट करते हैं. समझो एक 15-20 लोग हैं.
People want English also.
Okay. Now all these people, they want to connect. For example, we take an example of a small office, 15 to 20 people are working in one office. Physically, they're all present. So that inside that, each and everyone is connected through a local area network. So LAN. So people who are not familiar with technology, so I can put it in a simple way that each and every computer is connected to each other. So they are not left behind alone. So they are connected some way. So what is that makes the device that connected? It is called switch. For example, in our house, we have lights, we have fans, we have ACs, we have refrigerator on home appliances. Now all these are connected to MCB. So the moment we on the switch, it's all the power goes in and it starts functioning. Same way in technology language, all the computers, all laptops are connected to the switch so that the switch can give the service of all connectivity at one single shot. So if connected, everything is connected on switch. Then switch is connected internally to a router. Now, what is a router? I think most of us, or if I have to be very precise, the people who are working from home, they all have adopted the router from home, right? I think so. That will let it be broadband, let it be any connectivity. You all have a small router in your home so that you can connect it seamlessly. If being at home, you can connect it to your office or you can connect it to a cloud and work. So this diagrams helps us understanding the end user is there, they're somewhere connected to a switch. From there, it's connected to a router. And then at last, wherever the internet, they are connected to a cloud. So which means this end user can easily access this cloud. Okay, this is this diagram is to make you understand the architecture, what is happening from your system, then go to internet, then go to cloud. So this is just to make you understand how the entire architecture is designed for a cloud. So if you have any doubts, you can post it in a chat. I'll be happy to answer it.
So we have 5 minutes for the Q&A session between 11:30 and 11:35. People can raise their hands and ask questions if you have any. We will be happy to answer your queries. For 5 minutes is the Q&A session. If you have, I repeat, if you have any questions, please raise your hand and you can ask the question. Yes, Mr. Nabi, Syed Nabi.
You ask moderator to unmute. Unmute Syed Nabi.
Syed Naveed.
Yes, sir. Assalamualaikum. Hello.
Naveed is unmute. You can talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
My question is, what is the difference between cloud and data center? So, what is the relation between the data center and cloud? There is any relation?
Yes, I'll answer you. See, data center, when we call it as data center and when we call it as cloud. See, traditional way, all the complete data center used to be within our office premises, right? You're there with me, Nabi?
Yes, please, Hidayat bhai, go ahead.
Yes, he is there.
Oh, I want him to make him understand so that he answers my questions as well. So traditionally, if you are from IT and if you have worked as an IT department, you have seen the traditional data centers would be physically present in our own offices. For example, if you have office in Bangalore, if you have employees about 500 or 600, so everybody is connected to that data center within the premises. Okay, now that is called in-house data center. Now, when the same data center is moved remotely and you are connecting it remotely, then the same data center is called cloud data center or cloud computing. Okay, now during this our own session, we'll understand what is public cloud, what is private cloud. Okay, I hope I have answered your question, Nabi.
One more additional statement to support this. Normally in the data center, majority of the activity will be done outside the data center, like processing, different applications with different solutions. It happens outside the data center. So most of the things are done outside. But when it comes to cloud, everything is done in the cloud. So it will process the complete processing. Even the most difficult application can be processed. So the cloud is more safe. It's also done very quick, and also it consumes less. In fact, in costing, it consumes you less time and less money, both.
Okay, thank you, Noor sir.
You don't
and we have some more questions in the chat box.
Yeah, you can add.
So to Hidayat,
Yes.
Hidayat bhai, yes. We have a question from Mr. Imran. He says that can the server crash? If the server crash, what could be done?
In cloud or in data center? In cloud?
In the cloud.
Okay. See, first of all, as per my experience, and we work with our clients day in and day out with US clients, UK and India clients. Now in cloud, we have not seen server getting crashed, or we have not noticed, rather to be very precise, we have not seen, because the redundancy is so high, and we call in our technology language high availability. Now what happens is, before the server getting crashed, what happens is it transfers the complete operations to another server, which in our language is called backup server. So the redundancy is so high that you will not even feel the main server is crashed. So for that reason only, the cloud has become so famous that you will never feel that your data is down, your app is down, your server is down, your services are down. No, it's next to impossible. Okay, now this is where our next slide talks about the advantages of cloud computing. Most of the questions that people have put, all these questions will be answered in this slide. And if it's not answered, I'll answer it personally.
Okay. Thank you. Hidayat bhai. I hope Mr. Imran has got his answer. Can I pose one or two questions? Do we have time?
Please, Ali bhai.
Okay. People are asking how safe it is and how we can have a control over cloud.
See, cloud, it's very safe. I would give a rating of 99.99. So it is that safe. For example, there are security tools that is installed in the cloud, and when we are storing our data, we should enable those security tools. Okay. For example, there's encryption. Okay. The encryption, people who are from IT industry, they'll understand what is encryption. And encryption is something that I can give one line answer or one sentence answer. Encryption is something that a normal human being cannot read by its naked eyes. It is so many alphanumerical jang is all added in the encryption that normal human being cannot read it and cannot misuse the data and all. So their data is encrypted, but you should make sure that you use all these facilities which is available on the cloud. You just take the storage space and you just leave it your data without encrypting, without having the security, and without having the firewall in place, without having the private IP address, private network. So all this combination of things, like for example, private network is there, second firewall is there, third antivirus and encryption is there. There are so many things. Okay, now if you use a combination of all these things, I'm damn sure that your data is safe. It's safe.
Okay, just to add this, see, when we talk about data is not about only the data of your name or your KYC. It's not about only your data of your reports. It's all about anything and everything you do. आपका, मैंने आपको स्टार्टिंग में बताया था, हार्ट बीट से लेकर आपके मूवमेंट तक, वो सारा चीज जो है एक कंसोलिडेटेड मैनर में वहां पे क्लाउड में रहता है, और वो प्रोसेस होते रहता है डिफरेंट एंगल में. आप अगर सोचिए, आप अगर समझो एक फोन करते हो, किसी से बात करते हो कि मेरे को मलेशिया जाना है, आप देखो कई लोगों को मेल आ जाएगा पीछे पीछे आपको इनबॉक्स में. आपने मेल नहीं मांगा था, कोई दूसरा ट्रैवल एजेंसी आपको फॉलो अप करना शुरू कर देगा. आपको मालूम ही नहीं पड़ेगा कि किसने उनको इत्तला दिया. कि मैंने फोन रखा नहीं, उसने सिर्फ किसी दोस्त से बोला कि मेरे को आई वांट टू प्लान ए यूएस ट्रिप. आप रखो फोन, कोई लोग जो है फोन करना शुरू कर देते हैं. डेटा प्रोसेस इतना क्विकली होता है, आपका फोन का कन्वर्सेशन तक भी वहां पे कहीं ना कहीं प्रोसेसिंग हो रहा है क्विकली. So there are lot of activity which is happening in the back end. So of course the breach of trust भी होता है, उसमें नहीं करके नहीं, कई जगह हम लोग ही गलती करते हैं. बहुत सारे एप्लीकेशन जब डाउनलोड करते हैं तो हम लोग जो है अपने कॉन्टैक्ट्स को एक्सेस करने का अग्रीमेंट को ओके कर देते हैं. उसमें भी this is also a possibility that, you know, when you say yes, people will have rights to extract your data. For example, when you download an application, there is a question, it comes in between. Do you want, so we want to access your contact list. आप कई बार जल्दी में ओके करते हो और कभी कभी तो ऐसे होता है कि आप ओके नहीं करेंगे तो एप्लीकेशन डाउनलोड भी नहीं होता. तो कॉन्टैक्ट लिस्ट एक्सेस हो जाता है, आपके डेटाबेस एक्सेस हो जाता है. बहुत बार ऐसे होते हैं. बहुत सारे जो अनसिक्योर्ड एप्स होते हैं, इसलिए उसको डाउनलोड नहीं करना है क्योंकि वो लोग जो है डेटा के साथ खिलवाड़ करते हैं लेटर ऑन. So let's be very careful using this technology. Everybody today who are using the handset, the smartphones, we all are under the scanners. Let's be very careful while using our handsets, smartphones especially. Over to you, Dad.
Thank you, sir. Ali bhai, any other questions are there?
See, we have another 3 hands raised here. Anybody would like to ask any question? I have one more question, more questions about the career. So career aspect, I think we will answer this at the end of the session, where we'll be discussing about various opportunities and career on cloud computing. Am I right, Mr. Hidayat?
Yes, Ali bhai, you're absolutely right. In fact, if audience participants remember, we have in agenda, we have shown that career and prospects and job opportunities. There's a separate topic altogether. We can discuss end of this session. So if people can hold on for some time, we'll talk about it.
All right.
Can I ask my question? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
So this is Dr. Khalid Manir from Hyderabad. I have a IT solutions business and also a healthcare company.
Wonderful.
So just wanted to have a rough idea of how much approximate investment is required to set up a cloud hosting company. Because I have some friends who have their data centers, but I have never discussed this aspect with them. So I was happy to see this program being held, and I thought this will be a good forum to ask this. The reason is the next question which comes to the mind of the participants after attending this useful seminar is, you know, how to get started. So can we think about making a project plan and a rough estimate so that we can move in the positive direction together?
I think I would like to answer this, Hidayat bhai. It is related to budget.
Okay.
Okay, can we take this question?
No, sir, you can go ahead and you can answer it.
Okay. See, normally what happens, there are different types of cloud. If you want to set up a complete cloud infrastructure, one has to have a good land in a very good atmosphere. It has got its own compliance requirement. Then you need to construct, there is a building construction required. Then you have to deploy different types of servers. And there's a lot of storage you need to build. Then it requires a lot of different licenses. So mostly it is not given to private players easily unless and until you require that, and you need a special approval also to manage and run this kind of cloud service. So basically you need to go through a proper consulting advisory through which you can identify what kind of opportunities exist in this field. Number one, how you can set up your own cloud. Number two, own cloud if you set up, and if you are trying to use for your own service, it is a very costly affair. You need to have the cloud, then you have to offer this service to different types of business like banking, like insurance, for healthcare, and multiple businesses should take your service. Only then you can manage this entire business model. Roughly I can estimate if you want to set up a large scale of cloud, you need around $16 to $20 million. So I have got a project plan also. In case if you are interested, we can discuss, but it is definitely a large project for a national level project. I'm talking about a small country which requires a national cloud. We need to have around 16 to 20 million US dollars. Besides that, you also require some good land and also should have that capacity to manage the affair with the regulatory body. If you want to set up a smaller clouds, then you need to locally discuss with your local authorities and check what are the requirements. Then you can sit and calculate. Of course, there are a lot of companies who will help you in setting up the cloud, including HP, Dell, and all of them. They also have got their institutions to help you in setting up the cloud. We also have got in India a lot of companies who are working on setting up the cloud infrastructure. Okay, you can always come back to us. Inshallah, we'll try to help you with that.
To add to this, Noor Bhai, I have a small question that can we buy a smaller cloud from other service providers and resell it?
Yeah, see, there who will give you a bulk space through which you can work along. And Hussein Bhai, you can give some input on this, because it is again a procurement of the cloud from the larger platform and then using it, owning it, and renting it.
Yes,
Hussein,
there are.
Mr. Hussein?
Yes. Assalamu alaikum. Yes, there are channel partner programs from various vendors like Amazon, Google, Microsoft. Yes, you can rent from them, and you can also sell the virtual space. It is basically VPS hosting. You can. And answer to one of the previous query. Yes, please get back to us on myself and Hidayat. We will share our official email IDs. We can assist you in setting up the cloud or the data center for your own purpose. If in case it is you're not planning to commercialize but want to use only for your own purpose, we can definitely help you out. Thank you.
Thank you, Hussein Bhai. And okay, so let us move ahead now. We'll continue with the next knowledge sharing session.
I have one advice to all of you. Don't look for setting up the cloud at this stage. Try to use the existing space. You can exclusively demark that space for your own purpose, and then you can use it for your client under channel partner scheme. That is my suggestion. Because to make a safe environment, you need to put a lot of money. The maintenance is expensive. So better buy the property which is already developed. We should not reinvent the cycle.
All right. Okay. So, Mr. Hidayat, Bhai. So let's continue with further with the session.
Okay. Thank you everyone for the wonderful answers. I hope we have answered our participants' questions very well. Okay, now let's move to advantages of cloud computing. Now, the advantages of cloud computing is the first is cost. As we are discussing it now, if anybody wants to opt any services on cloud, so it is not capital expenditure. So it is operational expenses, that is OPEX. Now you pay only for the usage what you do. For example, you don't need the entire server, you don't need entire networking devices, you don't need entire switches, you don't need entire AC space or physical or real estate or whatever it is. What you need is just something that is relevant to you. For example, if you want to host your own applications, for matter you are a product developer and you have developed a product, and for that you want to host it on cloud. Now that is very, very reasonable cost. You will get it and you can keep going it immediately. Now if you want to set up your own data center in-house, obviously you need to have so many things that we discussed earlier. Now cloud has come, it's a cost effective. Move on to cloud setup and start running it, and so you can start making money as well. Now second is multi-tenancy. Multi is the normal meaning of multi is many. Tenancy means the plural of tenant. For example, if we own our own house and we rent it out, our first floor, second floor, that is called, we are giving it our premises for somebody which we call it as tenant. Now in cloud also there is something called multi-tenancy. Now to understand that meaning, let's understand several customers share the same infrastructure. Now, for example, we have such a big players in cloud computers already, like Amazon is there, Azure is there, GCP is there. Now you can opt services from all these depending upon your needs. So somebody is very good in Windows, for example, Microsoft is there. Microsoft products, we all know that it is all Windows, MS Office, Visual Basics and all. If you want to have a Windows based or Microsoft based infrastructure, then of course Azure is the best for you. Now if you want open source, you are the person who use Linux environment, and open source tools and applications and all like MySQL, NoSQL, Python and all, for you, AWS is better. So this is called multi-tenancy, where you can use best of the breed. यहाँ से कुछ अच्छा मिलता वो लेते हैं, वहां से कुछ अच्छा मिलता वो ले लेते हैं. Let's combine and start using it. This is called multi-tenancy, and it's the biggest advantage as well. Scalability. Scalability means, for example, today you have one server and you want to you need immediately one more server because your business is increasing and you want to serve your clients as well. Now if you want to have a physical, then you will take quotation, then you will shortlist, you'll finalize, then supply takes 3 to 4 weeks of the supply, and all this is a waste of time and you are in loss of business. So in cloud, what happens is, today, now what is the time? It is 11:50, 11:52. You will have server ready on your cloud. It takes 1 minute or 2 minutes whether you decide it, you are on, and you can commission it and start scale. That is called scalability. Now redundancy. Redundancy, I think I've answered one of our participant question. What happens when the server fails? Now this is where the redundancy comes. So we have not seen, or rather to be very precise, I have not seen on cloud server getting failed. Even if it's getting failed, we are not experiencing that because the redundancy is so high. It is highly available. Now, if you say today your application is there online and you opt for redundancy, see, if you don't offer redundancy, then absolutely it is a failure. But if you offer redundancy, you have a backup server ready, it comes in within few seconds or within a fraction of a second. Okay, there's something called in technology where people will know what is RP and RPO. So this plays a very important role when it comes to a redundancy. Now redundancy, high availability is very high, so you'll never experience your server is down or your app is down. So that is one of the biggest advantage. Accessibility. So actually it's not dependent on your location or your device, whether you use it as a laptop, whether you use it as mobile, whether you use it as desktop or tab, any device you use, you will have the same interface coming in. Put your user ID and password and you get on. And there's something called in cloud, there's something called single sign-on. Single sign-on SSO. Whether you use your laptop, you can sign in. The moment you log in from your mobile, it automatically logs you out from your laptop. The moment you log in from your desktop, it logs out from your mobile. So this is the single sign-on. It is done for security reasons and irrespective of the location. And you have opt for it. Suppose your primary location is Mumbai, the data center is located in Mumbai or South India, Chennai, and you want to access that when you travel out of India and you want to have same access for giving your clients demo, you can use it the same. It is not device or location independent. It is independent of this. It is not bound to any location. So that is also biggest advantages. Now comes the maintenance. Now what is maintenance? Now suppose if you have your own data center, traditional data center, you need a big force to control it. You need to have server engineers, you need to have network engineers, you need to have security engineers. All this you need a big force, and that too based on their levels and expertise. For example, level 1, level 2, level 3. Now to manage these people and to pay them salaries, all this, it becomes a very big expenditure for companies. When you push this to cloud, so everything is managed by the service provider. All your servers, your networking, security, everything is managed by them. So implementation remains with us, but management remains with them. For example, the server gets down, they'll do it. Network goes down, they'll do it. Bank internet goes down, they will do it. But doesn't go, you'll never feel that on cloud. But just to give you understand the meaning of maintenance, I'm just speaking out each and every category. So this is the biggest advantage of cloud computing. If you have any questions, you can post it in the chat. Whenever we find time, I'll be able to answer those. Now, anything which has advantages, it also has disadvantages also. Now, many people ask me a question, data, how sensitive is data, whether data loss is there or not there. Now, I have answered that if you use it in a proper way, cloud, for example, you control it, you use security tools and then encryption. Then if you use all this security method, then the loss of data is very minimal. Now, some people may overthink that whether my data is going out of the country or not. So that is something that when you're signing the agreement, the cloud service providers give you an agreement. So you need to read and understand each and every sentence that is written. So these days, the loss of data is gone to a minimal. It's almost 0%. Okay. Now going out of the country, whether my data is misused, cloud is taking my data, Azure will misuse my data in future or not. Government is also, our Indian government is also taking a lot of steps to control that our citizen data remains, our enterprise data, companies data remains within our country. So a lot of government initiatives has also been done so that our data does not come. One of such initiative, there is something called in European nation, GDPR. There's something that Indian government is also bringing some policies like that to control that our data is going out of the country. So that is minimized. Now dependency. Now, of course, now everything is managed by cloud. So obviously dependency will be very high. So you need to, you cannot do yourself anything, but dependency is there from the cloud service provider. So that is there. Now flexibility. Now, special customization of computer resources may not be possible. For example, you need 2 virtual CPUs, 4 GB RAM, and 100 GB hard disk. You want this, and you don't want to compromise on this configuration. Now, exactly this, it is very rare that you get exactly what you want. Somewhere here and there, if you need 2 virtual, then you may not get 4 GB of RAM. If you get 4 GB RAM, you may not get 100 GB of hard drive. If you get all this, then flexibility is there. If you don't get, then obviously flexibility is a problem. This is one such example I've given. The other things are the open source software, paid software. What you want, you may not get that. And you cannot simply put on the cloud all your tools. No, it is only as people, the authorized people or people who have given the access, only those people can bring in new software. Okay, that flexibility, that is 100%, it is not there, but to some extent it is there. So knowledge, now most of the knowledge is concentrated at service provider. For example, they are managing server, they are managing ISP, they are managing bandwidth, they are managing our networking devices, all those. So obviously our knowledge will get stagnated, and during this webinar sometime down, I will log into one of the cloud Azure and I'll show you. It is just an interface. You will never see anything physically. It is all programmed by the high skill programmers. It's programmed. You need to just put it everything in a nutshell, put it in one side, start using it. So obviously your knowledge will be stagnated and you cannot reach physically and learn where what went wrong so that you can correct it. So knowledge, that is one issue. And integration, difficult integration with other equipment and systems. For example, you want to integrate your own app with some other third party application. For example, you have your own application, you want to use Dunzo as a service. Now Dunzo has its own API, and that API does not match with your cloud service provider. So that integration will become a problem. So this, I gave you an example just to understand the meaning of integration and how your application can be successful. Now there is a little hiccup in terms of integration, whether some cloud service providers give, some service provider does not give. So these are the list of disadvantages of cloud computing. Now let's understand our government of India. They have initiated one project by name Meghraj project. It's a government data center, or it's a government cloud. So where they've hosted in Ahmedabad, and where all our fellow citizenship data is stored there. Basically, they want to secure our data, so they don't want this to go to any third party like Amazon or AWS and all. Thinking all this, government has initiated their own project, and they have already hosted e-services like Aadhaar, which we use it normally. Very they're coming out with BBNL, stands for broadband network connections, and COE, Center of Excellence on IoTs, and many such activities is there. If you want to more understand about this Meghraj project from government, you can log into, you can just Google it, Meghraj project. Your link will be there and you can click and you can understand more on Meghraj project if you're interested. Now, let's understand services of cloud. What are the different services that is there? This is very important, guys. We have learned the basic. We are now moving towards little bit advanced to more understand how we can make use of cloud in a proper way, in an effective way. Okay. Now there are three different services that the cloud offers. One is software as a service, platform as a service, second, third, infrastructure as a service. Now we'll learn each and everything in detail, just for understanding, myself understanding. If anybody wants to write about any one of these topics, software as a service, you can write it out in the chat. I'll give you 20 seconds of time.
Do we have any more queries? You can please write in the chat.
I think I'll move ahead.
Yes, Hidayat, let's move.
Yeah, I got one answer from Masood Khan. SAF complete service only
only with your own application.
Yeah, only with your own applications. Now let's understand in detail. Now let's understand from below, because you need infrastructure as a service to put PaaS and SaaS. Now, infrastructure is a service, is a way to rent storage, hardware, servers, and network capacity over the internet. Now, what does it mean? Infrastructure here in cloud means your physical hardware, your physical servers, your physical network devices like routers, switches, load balancers, your hardware, your hard drive, your RAM, and your storage hard drives, storage devices, and all. These are all called infrastructure of a cloud. Now you need this as a basic for cloud, where you need all the physical devices at one given point of time, and we as end user will rent it out and then we pay for it. So this is called infrastructure as a service. Now the service provider owns a massive computer resources and is responsible for running and maintaining them. So hundreds and hundreds of servers are installed, or maybe thousands of servers may be installed, thousands of networking devices are there, hard drives are there, and all massive systems are there, which will be using one part of it and we pay for it. So this is what the infrastructure, but we don't own that, we use it as a service. That is the reason it's called infrastructure as a service. The client needs only computer internet connection. We need only internet connection to use all these resources. Now, platform as a service. Now, what is platform as a service? See, platform here refers to tools. For example, now you have infrastructure you have built in. Now you have the layer, the first layer is ready. Now you need certain tools to interact with this hardware. Okay, so that we call it as platform as a service. For example, one of such tools is Power BI. Power BI is a tool that is used for business analytics. There's one more tool by name Tableau that we use it for business analytics. So this tools has to interact with all this hardware to give you a service. And that, and another as a tool I can give you a basic example is antivirus. Antivirus is a tool that keeps viruses away from our system and also malware from away from our system. Okay, so this is called platform. And now let's understand software as a service. Software, this is the upper layer of the cloud computing, where all your deployments is done. For example, now Facebook is deployed. Now Facebook, it is used for us, it is software as a service. We don't use neither the hardware, neither we own the platform. Now we use it as a service, and this Facebook as a company, they have built the entire software and they host it on the cloud. Now they are now giving out Facebook as a service. They're not giving us the entire software. We are not installing in our system, in our mobile phone, the entire software. What we are doing, we are just downloading in the app, or in laptop or desktop, we are just going to the site www.facebook.com. The moment that is hit, The page opens, you put your user ID and password, and you log in. So that is called software as a service we are using. Now you are using Dunzo, you are using uh, other such food deliveries, Zomato and all. These are all software as a service. It is built in, and you have been given the user ID password. And before giving user ID, you have to register it. They need some information about you. Where are you? Who are you? Where are you from? Your email ID, your mobile number, and then they'll send a OTP, one-time password, so that they know it's a valid and it's authentic number is there, which they'll send it. They validate it. Once it's validated, then only you can use their software as a service. Now there are two types of software as a service. One is freely available, another is paid. Now what is freely available, which I've been discussing over this time, like Facebook, Twitter, any social networking that you call it as, this is all free of cost. We are not paying for Facebook, we are not paying for Twitter, we're not paying for LinkedIn. It is all freely available. Anybody who wants, they can use it. But there are certainly another which is paid, which in technical language we call it as commercially available software and delivered over the internet. For example, Netflix is there, and Netflix and Amazon Prime is there. So these are all available on the cloud, but we have, if you want these services, we need to pay for it them yearly. So yearly we have to pay, and then once you take the subscription, then they'll allow you to access it for 1 year. The moment 1 year comes close to complete, then they'll keep sending an alert that your subscription is getting over. Please subscribe again and again. So these are called paid SaaS, and some are called unpaid, which is available free of cost. Now we have understood infrastructure as a service, we have understood platform as a service, we have understood software as a service. Now let's put everything in one slide and understand what is the meaning and how we can use and how we can manage what comes under our accountability and what comes under cloud service accountability.
Yeah, but you give them an example with a real-time situation. Like if somebody is using a cloud infrastructure, is as good as he is using his own office infrastructure or, his plant infrastructure or a factory infrastructure.
Okay.
So when you give this technical example, correlate with the physical experience or practical experiences people are facing in today's world.
Sure.
So which shall give them that, all the technical examples to suit their requirements to move into this cloud business.
Correct.
उनको ये भी समझाइए साथ.
जरूर sir. Now first we'll understand infrastructure service, what comes to us and what comes to the service provider. Let's start from the below. There's something called networking, storage, server hardware, virtualizations, and servers. Now in the bracket it has written managed by vendors. And who are all the vendors? Vendors are all cloud service providers. Now, for example, let's go back to a traditional data centers. Now, when it comes to the traditional data centers, now there's something called, we all have gone through this. There's something called network engineer who is certified. Some companies are very keen taking people, only certified people like CCNA, CCNP, CCIE and all. Those are all the people who manages network very effectively, like networking device. I can name it as routers, switches, load balancers, firewalls and all. This all device comes under networking, and people should be specialized in that to manage this. These are the devices which allows only legal network. Unwanted traffic is not allowed. So these are the people who configure all these devices to work very effectively. Now second comes storage. Now storage is something that we store. We have a storage, to name it, we have HP storage, we have Dell EMC storage. These are all the big boxes where terabyte to terabyte data is stored. For example, any company who wants to store their data for last 5 years or 10 years, maybe some companies have this policy of storing the data last 10 years of data. Imagine every year the company generates about 1 terabyte. I'm just giving an example, maybe it is bigger than that. Imagine when we have 1 terabyte per year, imagine for 10 years it will be 10 terabyte. So how do you manage this 10 terabyte data? So you need some massive storage. I can give you example of NAS, NAS, and also SAN, SA and SAN. NAS stands for Network Area Storage, stands for Storage Area Network. Those works in a different technology, so we'll not spend time on that. But there is a storage devices which are
I think we have lost Hidayat Bhai's connection.
By the time Mr. Hidayat joins back,
yes,
okay, I would like to bring it to your notice that the world has now focused on cloud extensively across especially in the government. The people even in the defense, they started using cloud facility. For example, there are medical treatments which are offered to the soldiers who are getting trained and they get injured in the very remote locality. So I would like to explain you in Hindi also. ये जो क्लाउड का फैसिलिटी है, इस पे जो है गवर्नमेंट भी बहुत सारा मतलब इस्तेमाल कर रही है, खासकर डिफेंस सेक्टर्स में भी इसका इस्तेमाल हो रहा है। यहाँ तक के जो फौजी होते हैं, जिनका ट्रेनिंग होता है, जो सोल्जर्स ट्रेन करते समय जख्मी हो जाते हैं, उनको रिमोटली मेडिकल फैसिलिटी भी दिया जाता है, काइंड ऑफ सर्विसेज। तो रिमोटली सारे के सारे मतलब मेडिकल सर्विसेज रिमोटली दिया जाता है, क्विकली उनके डेटा को प्रोसेस किया जाता है। वो अगर चोट खा जाते हैं या कोई इंजरी हो जाता है तो उनको डॉक्टर्स जो है इंस्टेंटली वर्चुअली अवेलेबल होते हैं, उनको ट्रीटमेंट दिया जाता है क्विकली। ये सब जो है आज की तारीख में इसलिए हो पा रहा है कि डेटा जो है क्विकली प्रोसेस होता है विद इन सेकेंड्स। तो ये बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज है हम लोगों के लिए भी। अगर हम चाहें, अगर इफ यू वांट टू स्टार्ट इवन ए virtual medical service, we can offer quickly in no time. People who are into in the medical field or into educational field, people into different types of industries, for everybody, because cloud has given a huge platform to all of you, which is going to give you tremendous amount of flexibility. तो आप जब भी चाहे कोई बिजनेस स्टार्ट करने की सोच रहे हैं, तो पहला चीज आपके जहन में ये होना चाहिए कि मैं क्लाउड में लॉन्च कर सकता हूँ। आपके अगर उसमें कन्विंस हो गए तो इमीडिएटली लॉन्च कर लें, ताकि आपका बिजनेस का जो मिनिमम जो पायलट प्रोजेक्ट होता है ना, क्लाउड में लॉन्च करके आप अगर सक्सेस टेस्ट कर लियो तो आपको एक यकीन हो जाएगा ये प्रोजेक्ट चलेगी, ये प्रोडक्ट बिकेगी कि नहीं। तो आपको सैम्पलिंग करने के लिए से भी ये बहुत अच्छा आसान तरीका है। सैम्पलिंग बहुत आसानी से कर सकते हैं। कोई भी प्रोडक्ट हो, वेदर इट इज अ सर्विस और वेदर इट इज ए मैन्युफैक्चरिंग, दोनों प्रोडक्ट को आप बहुत इजीली ऑफर कर सकते हैं इमीडिएटली, और अपने क्लाइंटल बेस भी मार्केट में इजी से मिल जाता है, आपको रीच आउट कर सकते हैं। और इसका प्रोग्राम पूरा रेडी सेट है, पूरा मशीन सेट है, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर रेडी है, आपको कुछ नहीं करना है, आप खाली बस कुछ स्पेस बाय करना है, वो लोग सब ऑफर कर देंगे आपके साथ इंशाल्लाह।
Thank you, Amin bhai. I think Hidayat is back. Hidayat bhai, so Hidayat bhai. Okay, meanwhile, can we have Hussein bhai? We can have some one or two questions we can answer from Hussein.
Yeah, Hidayat has to unmute. He's back, but he's muted.
Okay, Hussein bhai, there are some interesting questions from the audience.
Yeah.
If you would like to address this.
Yeah, I've been addressing. Sister Aisha had a query, which I have already answered on the chat box. She was asking if the services can be availed from one region to other region. So first thing is, yes, it can be availed. It can be availed. There are also service providers which may not have their presence across. But one example I gave you is Google. They have their data centers across. Yes, it is a configurable option. Based on the SLA that you have with the vendor, you can move from one region to other region and still access your services.
And there are a lot of questions about difference between DevOps and PaaS, I think it says.
That also have answered.
Yes.
Yeah, and there was also a question about CASB and CNAPP. These are all with respect to security that can be taken offline in case if they are more interested, because it is a big topic by itself.
Yes.
बहुत सारे क्वेश्चन को हम लोग आंसर कर रहे हैं वहाँ पे सैयद अली, आप नोट कर लीजिए. हुसैन भाई इज वेरी एक्टिव.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Hidayat, can you please unmute and move forward?
There is a request which has come that we need to have a series of webinars on this topic. See, we will be happy to share because it's a huge topic. We will try to give whatever best we can offer to you. Inshallah, it is not an end of story. Every time we try to create more opportunities to bring it to your knowledge, whatever is happening around. We try to simplify the process of teaching also by giving examples which will connect your day-to-day life. This is where IICCB try to do all that. So inshallah, whatever is covered today is covered. If it is left out, we will also try to organize few more events in future.
Definitely.
Ali bhai, please give host permission to Hidayat. He is not able to.
Let me just check.
Meanwhile, I would also bring it to your notice that cloud is one of the facility wherein you can also put up your services quickly by setting up some of the activities with a major service offerers. So you can straight away talk to them, negotiate with them, and take the space. और अपना खुद का e-commerce प्लेटफॉर्म भी डाल सकते हो आप क्विकली. तो इस सब चीजों के लिए पहले क्या होता था, आपको अगर कोई एप्लीकेशन भी आप बनाते हैं या कोई प्रोडक्ट भी बनाते हैं तो आपको 10 बार सोचना पड़ता था. आप उसकी जरूरत नहीं है, क्विकली आप उसको एग्जीक्यूट कर सकते हो. ये भी एक एडवांटेज है और इसका खर्च बहुत कम होता है. जो आपका जो बजट होता है, समझो आपको अगर एक दुकान खोलने के लिए, अगर एक बिजनेस चलाने के लिए 1 साल का अगर खर्च निकालो तो आपको समझो कि 10 लाख की जरूरत पड़ेगी. आप क्लाउड फैसिलिटी में एंटर होंगे तो 2-3 लाख में वो खत्म हो जाएगा. ये एक बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज. और दूसरी बात ये है कि इसमें आगे चल के कुछ स्लाइड्स हैं जिसमें दे विल शेयर विथ यू दैट हाउ यू कैन आल्सो नॉन आईटी पीपल कैन टेक द एडवांटेज ऑफ क्लाउड. कुछ अरसे पहले आप लोगों को पता होगा कि लोग जो है टेलीकॉम टावर का कंस्ट्रक्शन करते थे. बहुत सारे लोग हैं हमारे कम्युनिटी के जो टेलीकॉम टावर्स जो है कंस्ट्रक्ट करके एयरलाइंस के लिए, भारतीय एक्सा के लिए, भारतीय एयरटेल के लिए और बहुत सारे टेलीकॉम ऑपरेटर के लिए हम लोगों ने ये टेलीकॉम टावर्स कंस्ट्रक्शन में काम किए. तो जितने भी हम लोग सिविल वर्क किए उसका एक बहुत बड़ा प्रोजेक्ट जो है सिविल वर्क के साथ में ही बनता है. बिना सिविल वर्क का टावर खड़ा नहीं चलता. तो इसी तरीके से अभी जब ये क्लाउड का सर्विसेज आए तो इसमें भी बहुत सारा सिविल वर्क भी इन्वॉल्व है, क्योंकि जो ओनर होता है उसके पास फिजिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर होता है, तो उसके पास एक डेटा सेंटर भी होता है, तो स्टोरेज सिस्टम्स भी होते हैं, तो उसके पास एक बिल्डिंग भी होता है, उसके लिए एक जगह की भी जरूरत पड़ती है. ये सारे चीजें आप जैसे लोग जिनके पास लैंड है, जिनके पास प्रॉपर्टी है, ये लोग जो है बड़े बड़े लैंड रखे हैं. अभी देखो अदानी का एक अनाउंसमेंट आया कि वो $100 बिलियन डेटा सेंटर पे इन्वेस्ट करने जा रहे हैं. तो आप लोग ऐसे लोगों के साथ में कांटेक्ट कर सकते हो. आपके बड़े बड़े अगर जमीन है तो आप उसको जो है उसके इस्तेमाल में ला सकते हो. यू कैन हैव ए जेवी पार्टनरशिप एसोसिएशन विद. तो ये सब चीजों का ध्यान रखिए. आपके आसपास में कोई दोस्त हैं, कोई अहबाब हैं जिनके पास बड़े बड़े जमीन है और वो अच्छे एटमॉस्फेयर में है, उनका एनवायरनमेंट अच्छी जगह पे है, तो आप ये डील को आगे ले जा सकते हो. अदानी का जो ऑफिस है या कोई भी जो ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड कर रहा है क्लाउड का, उसके साथ में आप नेगोशिएट कर सकते हो, उनको ऑफर कर सकते हो. और गवर्नमेंट भी ये सब चीजों में आज की तारीख में बहुत इन्वेस्ट करती है. वाई यू शुड टेक केयर ऑफ दिस. और देखें तो एक बहुत बेहतरीन इन्वेस्टमेंट है आज की तारीख में. सबसे मतलब क्लाउड में अगर कोई इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बिल्ड कर रहा है और आपने अपना जमीन उनको रेंट में दिया है तो आपका इनकम गारंटीड है, क्योंकि वो उस पर छेड़खानी नहीं कर सकता, क्योंकि बहुत बड़ा रिस्क है. जैसे हमारे प्रॉपर्टी में अपार्टमेंट बांध दिया या हमने बिल्डिंग बांध दिया, कमर्शियल ऑफिस बांध लिया, लोग जो है कभी रेंट नहीं देते, कभी लिटिगेशन में डालते हैं. क्लाउड को अगर क्लाउड फैसिलिटी प्रोवाइडर को आपने अगर जेवी साइन कर लिया, उसके साथ में इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर सेटिंग कर लिए, तो आपका प्रॉपर्टी जो है एकदम सिक्योर हो जाता है, क्योंकि उसके साथ में वो छेड़छाड़ी करने का रिस्क नहीं ले सकते. तो ये एक सेफ इन्वेस्टमेंट है. आगे चल के आप इसके ऊपर तवज्जो दीजिए. कोशिश करें कि आपके पास अगर बड़े बड़े जायदाद है और जमीन है, तो उसके साथ में जो है सही इस्तेमाल हो सकता है क्लाउड फैसिलिटी के साथ इंशाल्लाह। अच्छा हिदायत भाई, वो टू यू।
Hidayat Bhai is having some technical issues still. We can
Hussein
have
bhai,
some
you
more
can
questions from the audience.
Yes, if there are any questions, I'm here, I can answer. हाँ बोलो हिदायत। हाँ अली भाई अनम्यूट करना कहते हैं उनको। अली भाई, कैन यू प्लीज अनम्यूट हिदायत? Okay, Hidayat, can you proceed now?
Yes, I can proceed. Hello, can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Welcome
all right.
back, Hidayat Bhai.
Sorry, there are some technical issues our side. Sorry for the inconvenience. Let's continue now. So I was talking about infrastructure as a service. Now in that we almost covered the light blue one, which is managed by the vendors. Now to manage in the traditional data centers, you need to have a big team of all these specialization people who are server specialized, people who are good in virtualization. Virtualization, you know, VMware. People who are from IT industry, they know what is VMware. So VMware is the one which is a company who has come out with such a wonderful technology, virtualization your hardware. Okay, so you can virtually divide your CPU, virtually divide your RAM, hard drive, and everything. So this is virtualization. Server hardware, we have understood storage and networking. Now let's understand the top layers: database, security and integration, runtime and application. Even when the traditional data center is there, even these things has to be managed by in-house IT team. Then means you need database specialized, you need security people, you need application developers and all. All this used to run by the own company, the people who host their own data centers or traditional data centers. Now there is a change. Now any company who wants to opt only infrastructure as a service on cloud, they can all these five layers are managed by the vendors like AWS and Amazon, and all the different 4 layers are managed by the company who opt for these solutions. Okay, now you manage in the sense people who are opting these solution server, they themselves have to manage this, and cloud service provider are least bothered about all these services. Now these are called infrastructure as a service. Now when it comes to a platform as a service, in these almost all is managed by vendors like AWS and Amazon. Only one layer application is managed by you. Now for example, you build your own application. Okay, now you opt for a services of platform of the service. Then on top of that, you have the application which you manage. You think that you're specialized in this and you don't need anybody's help to manage your own application. So in that cases and all, companies will opt platform as a service from cloud. So where everything is outsourced or these is managed by you. When I say outsource, it is for the cloud service providers, everything. Now last, when we want to understand software as a service, now including application is managed by a service provider. For example, we have SAP, that is a big application, that is a big ERP. Then we have Microsoft Dynamics ERP. People are there who knows this application very strongly, and even these is managed by the vendors like cloud service provider or their channel partners. So you don't have to do anything. You just have to run your business, expand your business, get more and more clients, subscribe to it, and the rest you can leave it to your partner, and your partner will manage your entire IT end to end. Now if you have any questions, you can put it in the chat box. I'll be happy to answer them. Any one of these services you have not understood properly, or you want to offer any services, you can let me know. We'll be able to help you.
एक और सवाल कीजिए हिदायत भाई कि कितने लोग इस चीज को समझ पाए, कितने लोगों को ये समझ में आ रहा है। किसी को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है तो सवाल करिए, हम लोग आसान जबान में फिर समझाने की कोशिश करेंगे। So we are trying to inform you that, if people have not understood this topic, or if you have any such situation wherein you don't understand what exactly we are talking about, you can ask those questions quickly. We will simplify the answers and we'll try to make you understand, inshallah.
There is one question by Mr. Hassan. When you say how treatment is done through cloud?
Yes. See, what is happening now is there are medical facilities which are provided through various hospitals. There is the Apollo Healthcare also. They have got their 24/7 service in cloud. You can always reach out and check what are the services they offer. It depends on the hospital to hospital. The healthcare is a vast topic and is a vast subject. There are a lot of government's initiatives also there. They give through cloud the counseling. They also provide the advisory services. They also provide doctors consultancy. They also provide assistance of reports and tests. So all these also are being conducted via using cloud facility. So even the systems like labs, RIX, and all of these systems also all these systems also interconnected with the cloud. So there is a possibility of managing many of the affairs virtually. So it brings out the cost and the logistic both. So I would like to take this topic separately. If somebody is interested to understand or want to set up a complete healthcare system virtually, we would be happy to assist them, but not in this platform because it's a vast subject. Thank you so much.
There is one question by Mr. Saad. I would like to answer that. His question is, with the network latency and our internet still not so reliable, are we ready to migrate totally from physical network to cloud network? Mr. Saad, it is all depends which network service provider you're using. I mean, if you're asked this question, I think you're an IT guy or a technical guy, you'll able to understand my answer. See, in ISPs, there are different kinds of internet services. One is broadband, one is lease line. And when you say lease line, so lease line is point to point. Now, when you take a lease line connection, there's a very less, and it also depends upon from which service provider you're taking. For example, you're taking from Tata, Airtel, or any other service provider. Now, if you take lease line and you take, depend upon your requirement. Suppose your company has 100 people working, 200 people, 300. Now you offer 10 Mbps, 20 Mbps. Now, if you take lease line connection and you plan for your backup, one you take lease line, the other you take broadband, so that the failover is taken care. One line is cut down, the other is taken over. Now, when you see all these technologies coming in, and from the cloud side, you have n number of internet service provider. That is the reason I have never experienced in my this thing that whether cloud is going down. Yes, from our side, some cut will happen. For that is the reason we should always have a backup line. Now, in IT, backup is like a backbone. If you don't have any backup plans, that means your production servers, production thing goes down. You don't have any option for backup. That means it's a wrong planning, wrong architecture of your network, which means the CEO will start thinking whether his CIO or CTO is doing his job or not doing his job if it does not planning for backup. So network latency is there. We know that it is a knowing problem. We all know, but there is a backup plans also that we also know it. Now, how we are going to use it, it's all depend on us. Now, people, 100% people are moving to cloud. Yes, 100% people are moving to cloud. Startups, especially startups, are moving drastically to cloud because startups cannot afford everything in house. So they quickly start on the cloud. They put it their product on the cloud and they start selling it software as a service. So that is the answer for you, Sakshi. I hope I have answered your question. And there's one more brother by name Yasin Ansari. I have been said a lot of positive. Yes, very good. And the ISP is also provided nowadays with satellites. Yes, internet is coming through satellite. Yes, the information is right. More secured backup plan, very high costing. Yes, it's how secure you want and what you want is all depends on that, Mr. Sajid Bhai. So it's all how you plan, how much you want to invest, and it's all depend your IT budget also. How much budget you want to allocate to IT and what services you want through that budget is all we need to think and we need to plan accordingly. Now there's one question. Which cloud, AWS, Azure, or GCP should we study and then progress to it? Now, this question we can is see right now. If you go by name, then AWS and Azure is catching up the market. It is already cashed the market. Now, if you are a Microsoft guy, then I will suggest you to go for Azure. If you are a guy with open source, like you want to master open source like Linux and open sources, then I will suggest AWS. Now I have given all the difference between. Now you can opt whichever you are interested in. Now the another question is from Mr. Riyaz Bhai. Can you support on healthcare facilities infrastructure outside India? I don't understand a word called you. Now, if you, I request you to be till end of this seminar. I will share my contact details. If you want to work with us, I have my own IT company, and we are partners with Microsoft and AWS, and we can help you, Mr. Riyaz Bhai, to set up your healthcare facilities outside India. Yes, we can. So just be with us till end. Now the other is okay. Hussein Bhai has already answered. Okay. Altaf Ahmed Bhai, I have answered earlier also. Please stay till end. I'll give you my contact details. You can take it and you can write a mail. Now another question, can we draw an analog here between cloud computing and setting up your centers? So what do you mean by drawing a line A? Because the complete name is not written. If you can, we'll give you a chance to raise your hand and talk. So till that time, please be, because before answering the question, I want to ask you something and then answer it. Now let's get back to the this advantages infrastructure as a service. So there's a lot of advantages are there. So service oriented utility. Now everything we don't own it, we use it as a service. Let it be infrastructure, let it be platform, let it be SaaS. We're all using it as a service oriented and we are paying it. Automation of administrative tasks, everything is automated. We don't have to take care of minute things, whether what is the usage of my CPU, what is the usage of my hard drive, what is the usage of my RAM. If you go to the dashboard, click on the dashboard, last 24 hours, it will give you a complete usage. If you need usage for last 48 hours, if you need usage for last 15 hours, 15 days, last 1 month, last 3 months, last 6 months, you can, all the data will accumulated and you can use the dashboard to analyze your usage of your services, how much you have used, how much you have not used. So this is all automatically taken out. Unlimited resources, for example, servers, RAM, these are all unlimited. You can use it however you want, whenever you want it. On-demand self-service, suppose you opt today, you got a client who wants to come on board tomorrow. So you can say yes for them and you can take the on-demand self-service. If you are technically qualified, you can configure the next server and you can do it. Pay-per-use price, yes, you don't have to reserve certain amount of, a big budget for cloud. You know your analysis per month, how much is the billing, you need to pay only for that. So that is pay-per-use price only. Desktop virtualization, for example, there are many.
एक मिनट एक चीज ऐड करना चाहता हूँ. ये पे बाय ये जो बोल रहे हैं ना, ये आपका जो क्लाउड फैसिलिटी है, जिसका इस्तेमाल आप इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जिस तरह इस्तेमाल करते हैं, ऐसा पे कर सकते हैं. मतलब आपका खर्च जो है मीटर में चलता है. ऐसे भी फैसिलिटी है, जैसे मतलब जितना यूज करते हैं उतना आप पे कर सकते हो. ऐसे भी पैकेजेस है, तो आपको फिक्स देने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ती. कई जगह ऐसे ऑफर्स हैं, तो आप वो फ्लेक्सिबल ऑप्शन चुन सकते हो. जिसमें आपको जितना आप इस्तेमाल करते हो उतना ही पे करना है। जैसे इलेक्ट्रिसिटी आप इस्तेमाल करते हो, जितना मीटर चलता है उतना पे करते हो, उतना ही पे करना है।
जल्दी ऑन करते हैं जनरेटर नहीं।
Over to Hidayat bhai.
Thank you, sir. Now, some companies are very clear on their services, and they don't want to give anything on your physical desktop or laptop or anything. They want everything to be on cloud. In that case, if that is the situation, even the desktop can be virtualized, and you just need a device to log into that through VPN and through internet. And there also one desktop is set up like physical desktop, and from there you can start working it. That's what the meaning of desktop virtualization. Policy-based services. Suppose in a company there are so many different departments are there, like HR, sales and marketing, commercial, account, finance, IT. So many departments are there. Now every department have their own role to play. So it's a policy that HR has its own policy to use only payroll system, attendance system. So HR will use only that. Sales and marketing, there are certain tools to analyze their sales and marketing. So like Power BI and Tableau, for only access are given to those, and IT to access to have a control on the entire IT system. So these are all the policy based. These are the advantages. So I'll just quickly move. Advantages of PaaS. PaaS is possibility, for example, upgrade the characteristics and component of operating system. Suppose we have Windows 8, Windows 9, Windows 10, and now Windows 11. We are talking, and Microsoft released officially Windows 11. Now this upgrade will happen and without any extra charge. And Microsoft itself will push to upgrade. We have to say just yes, click yes, and the upgradation happens automatically. I just gave you an example of operating. There are many other characteristics. For example, hardware upgrade, SSD from hard drive to SSD, SSD NVMe, flash drive. So all this upgradation will happen. Easier collaboration. You can collaborate easily with different hardware. Opportunity to use resources, national border or without crossing it. Suppose if you have on cloud, you can set up your cloud outside the India also, and this is what means without crossing it. Overall cost reduction by minimizing the expenses of hardware and programming tools. You don't have to buy each and every tool from outside and then put it in cloud. So all the things are available on the cloud, and you can make use of all these tools on the same expenses and all. Now, disadvantage of PaaS is if some service provider may not allow you to take out your entire software and move to different cloud. For example, Azure may not allow AWS, as AWS may not allow to Azure to move it. Now that is disadvantage, but these days even that is getting minimized. You can move to different service provider without anybody holding you, without any service provider or cloud service holding you. Now flexibility. Yeah.
Hello. My colleague has lost his connection. There are some internet issues and power issues across Bangalore. I have also lost the power here. So thank you all for this spectacular session that we had from Brother Hidayat, Syed Hidayat. We will like to continue with more such sessions in the future. Madam Tabassum is here, who will have the vote of thanks. We had some more slides with respect to career prospects and job opportunities and the trainings that one has to undergo. So inshallah, we will send detailed information about whatever we have not covered. It is just few more slides that we wanted to cover. Inshallah, we can have one session in the days to come. I mean, a session of around 45 minutes to 1 hour on various job opportunities and certifications that are available. People, both IT people and non-IT people, how they can move to cloud computing. And those, we also had questions asking for how experienced people can move to cloud computing as a career. So yes, there are different requirements set. There are certain eligibility and prerequisites. We will talk about it in due course. We will have one separate session for all these participants, and we will also see to it that we will send. We have various groups. We will send those who have registered. We have their database. We will send that information on the WhatsApp groups and emails also. Thank you. Over to Janab Amir Sharif Saab to call upon Madam the Joint Secretary for vote of thanks.
Yeah, thanks everyone. I thank everybody for participating and the entire IICCB team, from the president to the MC group. I would request Ms. Tabassum Amtul Aziz, Joint Secretary of IICCB, to present vote of thanks.
Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. Thank you, Amir Bhai. Today's session has been quite informative and knowledgeable to me, and I hope it's been the same to you all as well. As a mark of gratitude, I would like to thank wholeheartedly to the team IICCB, the President, the Secretary, the Moderator, and the speakers for a wonderful knowledge sharing session. I'm sure you all agree that a program, big or small, requires a lot of relentless work behind the scene. I would like you all to join me in thanking this team with a sincere thanks for making this session a success. And last but not the least, a real warm thank you to the entire audience who has been wonderful by showcasing their thirst for knowledge and a sincere wish to move up the ladder of success. I end with a short prayer for us all. May the Lord make every good act easy for us and accept it from us. May we all succeed in the eyes of the Almighty. Ameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Jazakallahu khair for your speech and conclusion remark. So let's we'll be ending this session, and inshallah our next session.
Yeah,
please go
there
ahead.
will be another session, continuation session on data center, which is also part of cloud computing. So we will keep all the participants informed of our next step, the dates, timing, everything. Thank you one and all. The session ends here. Thank you.
Thank you. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala al-mursalin. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I request our IICCB MC team.
No, Sharif bhai, just hold on for 2 minutes. Let the people give their feedback. Please wait. Meanwhile, you can talk whatever you feel in the interest of IICCB. Sharif bhai, you can continue. Meanwhile, let the people give their feedback in the chat box.
Yeah, I'd request everyone to just give your feedback in the chat box. And after this, end of this, I request the MC and our office bearers to stay for some time. We'll have
Hussain bhai, meanwhile, you can update about the future event. What will be covered?
Inshallah, we will continue with, we have missed a few important points with respect to cloud computing, which are very similar to that that we are going to cover in data center networking. So we'll have another session for all these participants and the other participants also. Next session is being planned 2 weeks from now. We will cover on data center, and we will also touch upon few more topics which are related with respect to cloud computing, and there we will also cover career opportunities and prospects with respect to data center and cloud computing. And thereafter, in next month, possibly, inshallah, we'll also have a session on cyber security, and post that there will be also a session on cloud security, because security is also big. We will have a separate security session on, there were questions about, a lot of questions with respect to security as a concern for cloud. We will have a cloud security session also. And we missed one of the important session, a demo session today. Inshallah, that will also be conducted by Brother Hidayat in the next session, which will be a combined session on cloud and data center. So we will also show you practically a practical demo on accessing cloud services from Microsoft or possibly from Amazon as well.
Thank you all for participating in this session, and we will be this will be a conclusion today, and we'll continue further for giving you the services and uplifting the community. Thank you, everybody.